Hey cats. You know, I'm having this great conversation in a theater of Offbeat Cinema, and I wanted you to join us, and I want you to meet these really cool chicks who will be joining us on Offbeat Cinema and their project. Now listen carefully, because they also have the coolest names you're ever going to hear. It's Tilke and Lukia Costello. And I don't normally just make friends with people because they have cool names, but I am particularly fond of these names because when I introduce you, people are like, what's your name again? So it's Tilke and Lukia who have joined us, and they're going to talk about their new film project, their company that's called The New Hotness, and some of the exciting content that we're going to be showing here on Offbeat Cinema. I'm very excited about it. So let's get going on. First of all, congratulations. These episodes are so funny and fabulous. I love them. Tell us a little bit about how these were even conceived.
Okay, so I guess I'm Tilke again, and so the series is called Why I Murdered My Roommate, and
right.
It's a comedy. I think many of us have experienced the feeling of wanting to murder their roommate.
Or somebody they're living with
yes,
for a little while.
Yeah, someone they might be in housing with. And it stemmed from a friend of mine who I co-write stuff with was like, let's write you a series, like what do you want to write about? And I happened to have a really trying roommate at the time. And so like, I was like, oh, I spend a lot of my time talking about like how angry this roommate makes me. And I was like, let's make a comedy about like wanting to kill your roommate, but you know, doing it in kind of a subversive way. And we wanted to make a series that was set in Buffalo, to showcase Buffalo with a strong female lead. And so that's kind of how we got this idea. And so Why I Murdered My Roommate features this character called EZ, who doesn't think she needs a friend, but she really needs a friend. And we follow her as a female relationship that's positive. I love that
part of it too, that exploration of where you really think you have, well, your character thinks she has friends, and then when it comes right down to it, but you know, it also confirms the notion that, you know, great art comes from misery.
Yes, I love that. I've never heard that.
Yeah,
comes from misery.
So,
it's true.
I love the genesis of that. So, tell me, first of all, what do you think? What do you want our viewers who love offbeat, and this is very offbeat in a fun way, but it's also very edgy and new, I think, too. You know, considering what we show, what do you want our viewers to come thinking away from watching these? They're 5-minute segments.
Yeah, there's 12 episodes, yeah. And they're anywhere between like 2 to 5 minutes. So it's a short form micro series. Lukia and I, with our company, The New Hotness, we're really dedicated to this idea of like micro content. Mm-hmm. So this first season is 12 short episodes, and I think it's great pairing with Offbeat Cinema because it's quirky and edgy, and it kind of has this like, you know, this sort of outsidery vibe, like a cool outsidery vibe. Mm-hmm. And I guess I just want them to come away with an experience of like following these characters and having fun with subcultures, right? So like Offbeat Cinema celebrates like a subculture.
Right.
So
all that is offbeat.
Yeah. So Why I Murder My Roommate really celebrates like subcultures of like, you know, veganism, like wild artists, Dingus Day, which for those of our viewers who don't know is a celebration, a Polish celebration that Buffalo holds the
it's our Sadie Hawkins
yes
day. Yes.
And we have I think we have the biggest Dingus Day in the United States. Buffalo does, so that we kind of wanted to celebrate all the quirkiness of Buffalo with love.
Yeah, and that's something we like to do here on Offbeat Cinema. And Lukia, what is your part in all this? Because I know you are partners, and it's a lot.
Executive producer and editor, VFX artist. So all of the inserts that you see, the little graphics, all the little things are all me though, but with Tilke as well. Of course.
Yeah. And so how do you come up with something like that though? Because to me it's like, oh, that was brilliant. And a little bit reminds me of a throwback, and please don't take this as an insult, but it Batman with the pow and the
Yes, that's totally what we're going for. This whole comic booky idea.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, you know, for micro shorts, a series like this, you really want to keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to add more to it and like fill out some of the story. And like one of the ways to do that is to add inserts. And like, so, you know, a lot of it was really intuitive for me. Just like I've watched a lot of TV and movies over the years, of course. And like one of the shows that I really love a lot is Arrested Development, and they employed a lot of inserts too. So I'm not saying I directly, you know, I took from that, but it was really just a process of watching this and whatever popped into my head, and then I would run the ideas past Tilke, and I would like make something, show her, and if it worked, it worked. If it didn't work, maybe it got pushed to the side, maybe it got used for something else.
For the record, I'm not admitting a thing. On the small chance they take me alive. Don't be a I want my side out there for my fans. First, I need to tell you what this was all about.
Winter snail people think our campaign to save the trees endangering the...
Winter snail?
Whoa! I'm gonna be a Kardashian of Western New York.
You live in the church loft, right? Yeah.
But because they're short, it seems to me like you condense an idea too by throwing in these, okay, we're not drawing this out for 20 minutes, so here's, it sort of feeds you like, I don't know, it feeds my brain. Now, is it also a statement because they're so short? Is it a comment on people's attention spans, or why the shortness, or did you even give it much thought?
I would say that for me, and then Lukia can share for her, I would say, yeah, it is a comment on the, you know, our attention span it's dwindling every day. Like, you know, with social media, like people are like only willing to watch up to a certain amount of seconds of video, and you know, so I do think that, and you know, Lukia really is like a very, like, she's a strong, and obviously I am too, but she's really like, well, what about the power of a story in the short, like how good of a story can you tell in like the shortest amount of time, like execute like quickly the whole thing, like, you know, how much, you know, how can you do that? And so I think those types of the Batman-y types of things are part of that too.
And did you want to add anything to that, Lukia, about the brief
No, I think
brevity?
she pretty much covered it. I think it's like a trend. I'm not saying that like micro cinema is going to replace like longer form, but I think it has a future and it's building, and I definitely want to be
It's an offering,
Yeah.
yes, for, yeah, I love it. And, okay, I'm a little busybody here, but I think the cats out there want to know too, what is it about you two? I mean, you have this great partnership, you came together. What is it about your personalities that make your projects work? How do you work so well together? What do you think it is?
It's just because we have these crazy names.
I knew it.
Yeah, that's it. My favorite part of that though is like when we go to sort of networking events or conferences or whatever, people are always like, you meet people and you're like, hi, I'm Tilke, and then they respond to the name, and then Lukia might come up and I'll be like, and this is Lukia, my business partner, and then they're like, wait,
don't you have regular names?
Yeah,
or?
like I do sort of, I like that blessing of the union. I think you know, we definitely have our skill sets complement each other, and we have different skill sets because we come from different backgrounds. You know, I started out as an actor. Lukia started as a still photographer, but I do think our passion of like social justice like kind of has like, we're always kind of, that has like a kind of a through line no matter what kind of material we're doing.
And that's a good point to bring up too about this piece too, which I love it.
So I think that for us is like a unifying thing of how we kind of came together, because like we want to make a difference.
And you're all inclusive.
Yeah. So I think that, and we have these different skill sets that complement each other, and that we kind of learn from the other one, and I think that's how we work so well together. Lukia.
And we communicate really well.
So what do you fight about?
together.
Like, I mean, do you?
I don't think we really fight so much.
What are your biggest differences, if anything?
I think sometimes we find different things funny.
Yeah.
Our sense of humor is sometimes different. Like, I think that might be, but it doesn't it's not like, oh my God, that's horrible. It's just like, I didn't find that funny, oh, well, I did.
But you find ways to resolve it and then maybe come back to it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, part of this process is like not holding too tightly onto any particular idea.
And I think that's great because, I mean, I think that's what's special gift for women-driven projects, if I can say so myself, but what's also beautiful about it is that you're so inclusive. Even though this is a woman-driven project, you invite everyone into it. It's not, oh, this is all just about women and women's issues. It doesn't even appear, from what you've produced so far, it doesn't seem to be just about that.
Right. No, I don't think so. It's interesting. Lukia and I met through the theater scene here in Buffalo because I was acting and she was taking photographs, and then I started working on writing the script with Michael Pauly, who I wrote it with, who is a good collaborator, like a collaborator I love from California, who's was excited to learn about Dingus Day and all this wild Buffalo stuff, and sort of couldn't believe the locations when he came to Buffalo for shooting. It was like, whoa, this is amazing. You're in California, you're in LA, and everything is very cost prohibitive. So yeah, so I think we sort of, we're inclusive all around. We really want to but we definitely try to say okay, well, can I look past just who's in my immediate purview, which oftentimes, as you both know, is men, because that's who is a lot of times in the film industry, any industry, and try to really think about who's the best for the job, and did we not think about someone else, and who might not get an opportunity just because they're not thought of right away.
Yeah, and what do you learn when you hear the same voices all the time and the same stories? Plus,
Precisely.
in the industry, new content is there's always a call for new content, there's a call for new voices, so why not just broaden that field?
Yeah, so you heard it here, cats. We are introducing some new content. I know it's going to grow. Thank you for joining Offbeat Cinema. We're so excited to have your stuff on air, and we look forward to your feedback, cats. Let us know what you think, and stay tuned.